You have a text message that has been sitting unread for 6 days. It's not from an enemy. It's probably just your mom asking about a casserole recipe. But the sheer effort required to open the app, type chicken, and hit send feels equivalent to climbing Everest in flip-flops. You have a pile of laundry on the chair that has slowly evolved into a geological formation. You have dreams, big ones, but right now, your ambition is currently buffering at 99%. Let's pump the brakes. This is not laziness. This is not you failing at life. And despite what your overly caffeinated coworkers might whisper, it's not even necessarily depression. It is something far more interesting. Your brain has entered a biological safe mode. You haven't stopped trying because you're weak. You've stopped trying because your internal operating system has detected a critical error in the environment and has shut down non-essential services to prevent a total system meltdown. Society looks at you, motionless, staring at the ceiling, canceling plans with the enthusiasm of a lottery winner, and sees a failure to launch. The hustle culture gurus on TikTok want you to grind and optimize your morning routine at 4 a.m. They treat your stillness like a moral failing, a sign that you just don't want it bad enough. Here is the uncomfortable truth. They are completely wrong. Society is obsessed with output. Your brain is obsessed with survival. You are not a broken machine that refuses to start. You are a high-performance sports car that has correctly identified that the road ahead is a cliff, and you have engaged the emergency brakes. The world sees you giving up. I see you refusing to drive off the edge. You are not broken. You are just built different. Let's look at the hardware. Neuroscience used to believe in learned helplessness, the idea that you learned to give up when you couldn't control your environment. But recent research from the University of Colorado Boulder flips this entirely. It turns out passivity isn't learned. It's the default setting. Your brain's dorsal raphe nucleus, think of it as your neural factory reset button, is naturally designed to keep you passive and conserving energy. Normally, a different part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, suppresses this passivity when it detects that you have control. It's like a pilot manually flying the plane. But when your brain realizes that your efforts aren't changing the outcome, when the joystick disconnects from the wings, the pilot stops fighting and hands control back to the autopilot. That autopilot is designed to do exactly one thing: sit still and wait. You are currently experiencing a massive turbo lag. You press the gas pedal, effort, but the engine, reward, didn't respond fast enough, so your brain cut the fuel line. A study from the University of Michigan suggests that this withdrawal is actually an evolutionary adaptation to unpropitious circumstances. In the wild, if hunting burns more calories than the prey provides, the smartest wolf stops hunting. You aren't lazy. You are an evolutionary economist who has realized the market is crashing. Here's the kicker. This state of stopping is actually a superpower of efficiency. While everyone else is burning out, running on a hamster wheel that powers nothing, you have intuitively grasped the law of diminishing returns. You have stopped throwing good energy after bad outcomes. This is what evolutionary psychiatrists call strategic withdrawal. It's not about quitting, it's about energy conservation during a metaphorical winter. Research published in Psychological Review suggests that this low-energy state is designed to facilitate analysis. It stops you from making rash, high-cost mistakes in a dangerous environment. You are effectively in a chrysalis phase. To the outside observer, a cocoon looks like a dead leaf. Inside, it is liquefying and rebuilding an entire biological structure. You haven't given up on life. You have simply stopped playing a game where the rules kept changing. Your brain has high integrity. It refuses to participate in a rigged system. That isn't weakness. That is the ultimate act of rebellion. Where did this come from? For about 42% of you, this pattern was installed in childhood. You likely grew up in an environment where the effort-reward connection was severed. Maybe you worked twice as hard as your sibling, but got half the praise. Maybe you tried to fix your parents' chaotic marriage and failed. Maybe you were the gifted kid who realized that achieving an A+ just meant you were expected to get an A++ next time. Your brain became a hyper-vigilant pattern recognition machine. It learned a brutal algorithm. Input, effort, does not equal output, safety/love/success. So, like a smart AI realizing the game is unwinnable, it stopped making moves. You aren't avoiding work, you are avoiding the pain of unrewarded effort. You are protecting your limited resources because you learned early on that nobody else would replenish them for you. So what does this look like in the wild? Since your brain is running a background application called Preserve Energy at All Cost, you have developed some fascinating microhabits. First, the notification paralysis. You see a message, you emotionally draft a reply, you mentally edit it, and then you physically do nothing. The energy cost of the mental draft was all you could afford. Second, the doom pile architecture. You don't clean partially, you wait until the mess reaches a critical mass that threatens your safety. Then you clean everything in a manic 30-minute burst. Third, simulation exhaustion. You spend so much time thinking about doing the thing that your brain actually believes you did it and releases the task-complete exhaustion without the task-complete dopamine. Fourth, the relief of cancellation. When a friend cancels dinner, you don't feel disappointed, you feel a wave of euphoria that is better than any drug. And finally, aggressive resting. You aren't just relaxing, you are aggressively doing nothing, embracing a darker, more anxious version of the Italian dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing, except you feel guilty the whole time. Consider this your permission slip. You are allowed to stop pushing a boulder up a hill that keeps growing. The fact that you have stopped trying is not a sign of death, it is a sign that you are waiting for a slope that actually goes down. Wild, right? You are currently in a defensive posture because your nervous system is smart enough to know it needs to recharge. Stop trying to force the engine to turn over when the tank is empty. The world needs your energy, but it needs your real energy, not the fumes you've been running on. The math just works differently for you. You are conserving your resources for a game that is actually worth playing. If this video just explained why your laziness is actually a survival strategy, don't scroll. The next video explains why your sensitivity is actually a high-resolution radar system.